Ever found yourself wondering what really goes through a guy's mind when there's nothing but radio silence? Well, ghosting, silence, and breakups can be downright confusing, particularly for men who often find themselves facing more questions than answers during a no-contact phase. If you're curious about how men navigate this radio silence or what exactly goes through their heads, then this video is your ticket to understanding. In this video, we'll unravel the male perspective on ghosting and how they grapple with the emotional rollercoaster that comes with it. Stick with us until the very end and you'll gain the insights to decode the enigma of the male mind. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Number 10. Why isn't she calling already? In those early days of no contact, a guy's mind is a bit like a hamster on a wheel, spinning with questions. One of the big ones that's probably racing through his head is, why isn't she calling already? It's like a daily puzzle piece has gone missing, and he's itching to hear your voice. This question tells us that he's eager to know if you're feeling the same urge to reconnect. Now, this urge for communication is all tied up with the emotional bond he built during the relationship. When you share your life with someone, that connection runs deep. So, when it suddenly disappears, it's like losing a piece of himself. Plus, there's this gap in his daily routine. You know how you get used to those good morning texts or just sharing about your day? Well, suddenly that's all gone, and that leaves him all restless, looking at his phone often. Number 9. Does she even miss me? As the silence stretches on, doubts start creeping in. He's probably thinking, does she even miss me? It's like a broken record playing in his mind. He's grappling with the idea that maybe you've moved on or gotten busy in your life, while he's still stuck in memory lane. This question amplifies his feelings of loneliness, making him really wish for some sign that you're missing the connection just as much as he is. Basically, humans are creatures who crave validation and reassurance. When you're in a relationship, those I love you or I miss you moments provide a constant reminder that you matter, but with no contact, that reassurance suddenly vanishes. Plus, the lack of communication can feel like emotional withdrawal. Number 8. Is she with someone else? Jealousy becomes a big deal during this time. He starts picturing scenarios where you're hitting it off with other guys, and that makes him feel pretty jealous. It's not just about losing you, it's also about questioning his own attractiveness and whether he's still in the game. Moreover, he starts wondering if you were cheating on him before leaving. It's like he turns into a detective and starts connecting dots, trying to figure out where you were and what you were doing when you were together. This jealousy can also come from a fear of being replaced. In his mind, if you're moving on, it might feel like you've found someone better. This can trigger feelings of insecurity and self-doubt, especially if he's still dealing with the breakup. The thought that you might have found someone better can hit his self-esteem pretty hard. Number 7. What if I never see her again? As the days go by, there's this gnawing fear that starts to take hold. The fear of never seeing you again. It's like a haunting fear that can lead to deep regret and introspection. He might find himself reminiscing about the good times and feeling the weight of the possibility that your paths might never cross again. When you shared significant moments and built a life together, the idea of that connection being severed indefinitely can be overwhelming. This fear can also come from the realization that life is unpredictable. He might start to understand that the future is uncertain, and the possibility of never seeing you again becomes more real with each passing day. This realization can trigger a sense of urgency and regret, making him question if he could have done things differently to avoid this outcome. Number 6. She's living the perfect life without me. Here's an interesting twist. During moments of vulnerability, he might paint an idealized picture of your life without him. He might imagine you living this perfect, carefree existence, completely untouched by the complexities of your past relationship. This mental image can mess with his self-esteem, making him feel like he's been replaced and is no longer important. This idealization often happens because of guilt and insecurity. He might feel guilty for any part he played in the breakup or any pain he caused you. This guilt can lead him to believe that you deserve nothing but happiness, and he might convince himself that you found it without him. Number 5. What the hell is on her mind? The mystery of your thoughts can drive him nuts. He's dissecting past interactions, trying to decode your intentions. This can lead to bouts of anxiety and self-doubt as he grapples with the enigma of your silence. Our brains love answers and clarity. When you're in a relationship, you're used to having open conversations about your thoughts and feelings. But when there's no contact, that line of communication is abruptly cut off. So he's stuck in a fog, unable to see what's going on in your mind. This lack of clarity can kickstart a cycle of anxiety and obsessive thinking. He might find himself replaying past conversations, trying to find hints about your feelings and intentions. Number 4. He may feel remorseful. With a bit of time for reflection, he might start facing the music. those mistakes that played a part in the breakup. Remorse slowly sneaks in, and he starts wishing he'd handled things differently in the past. Now, remorse is a bit of a complex beast. It often decides to make an appearance during no contact, especially when he comes to terms with the fact that some missteps were made in the relationship. You know how it goes in any relationship. Conflicts, disagreements, and the occasional word slinging in the heat of the moment. Sometimes things are said or done that end up hurting the other person, but sometimes it's only after the breakup, during those moments of reflection, that the gravity of those actions becomes crystal clear. It's like a moment where he goes, "Whoa, I really messed up there." Number 3, I don't care, I think. Now let's talk about putting on a front. To shield their egos and emotions, some guys put on this act of not caring. They convince themselves that they don't give a hoot about the situation, even if, deep down, they kinda do. It's a way to keep some semblance of control in the midst of all this emotional chaos. By adopting this attitude, they try to regain control over their emotions and the situation. Plus, it's a form of self-preservation. When you've been hurt in a relationship, the idea of caring deeply and risking more pain can be downright scary. So, by putting on this "I don't care" mask, they create a bit of emotional distance to protect themselves. Number 2, who cares? I've always got myself. Now let's talk about a different way some guys respond to the no contact situation. They're all about self-reliance and personal growth during this time. During no contact, these fellas shift their focus to a bunch of activities that help them take care of themselves in every way, physically, emotionally, and mentally. They might get all health conscious, pick up new hobbies, invest in personal development, or even consider therapy to deal with any underlying stuff. And here's the cool part. It's not just about finding distractions, it's about personal growth and empowerment. It's about understanding that they've got what it takes to create a fulfilling life all on their own. Number 1, I better just give up the act and apologize. As time goes by, some guys start doing some serious soul-searching. They finally realize that this silence thing can't go on forever. It's like a light bulb moment. They decide it's time to break the ice and say sorry. Yep, that's right, an apology. Hitting this point where they're all self-aware and ready to deal with lingering issues, well, that's kind of a big deal in the breakup roller coaster. It often shows that they've grown emotionally and understand the importance of closure. Now, let's be real. Apologizing isn't a breeze. It can be tough, especially when it means owning up to your mistakes and recognizing the hurt you may have caused. But it's a courageous move toward healing and finding a resolution. If you've made it this far, comment down below with the word 100% to confirm that you have received the knowledge from this video. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.